Thank you for clicking on this video of the history of the M22. This will be the first ever time I will be making a video like this, but enjoy what I have done. Many of you may be familiar to the M22 in War Thunder, as that little nuisance you see mostly running around in top-tier tank battles. But why did the Americans build this tank? Well, first off, the M22 was first in development in 1941, when the British War Office asked the Americans to build a tank, which could be glided into battle, just like the Soviets did with their Antonov A-40. The British had appointed Marmon Harrington, who had been a trusted make of the light tanks which were used by the United States Marine Corporation, and Marmon had designed a tank which was called the T-9, but later given the name M22. Trial of the tank had shown that the tank had exceeded its 7.9-ton weight limit, which had led to the tank's extra feature being removed, which had brought the weight to 7.4 tons. With the production of the M22 starting in April 1943, it was delayed with issues with the tank were found. One problem was that planes at that time couldn't drop vehicles how we did now, and the bottom of bombers which would be carrying the tank such as the Douglas C-54, but the problem was the turret wouldn't fit underneath the plane, so they would have to detach the turret with a crane, and put it back on once the plane was back on ground. That would not work for the British, as the tank would be landing into the battlefield, where the chances of a crane there would be low. But the plan was to land a plane carrying the M22, after the first wave of infantry find a suitable place for the plane to land. The armor was so thin that it would be able to be penetrated by .50 caliber rounds. Although a more was not what was meant to represent the tank, but was the speed of 40 miles per hour, which came from a propelled by a 165 horsepower Lycoming 0435T, and a 6-cylinder gasoline engine. Marmon Harrington didn't do anything of the problems the M22 faced, and a team of engineers had reported to the British that the tank was well received, and then 230 to 260 M22s was shipped to Britain. Once of Britain 17 M22s was given to the 6th Airborne Armoured Reconnaissance Regiment in late 1943, and had shown mechanical problem which made the M22s being traded by the Tetriches. But in October 1944 the Tetriches were replaced by the M22, and 8 were used during Operation Varsity in March 1945, but the M22s performed terribly, several were damaged in the landing process. Only 2 M22s was able to their planned point and go with an infantry company in a high ground location. Hours later they were forced to move back due to artillery fire. Another instance of the M22s being used in the 1948 Arab-Israeli War by the Egyptian Army. In World War II the M22 were found obsolete, and had a very small caliber for the time when it came to battle. But the American Army learned from the mistake of the M22, and the next air mobile tank projects were successful, which were the M56 Scorpion, and the M551 Sheridan. And although the M22 was an obsolete tank, the same thing wouldn't be said of the M22 in War Thunder, where it is a fast tank with average penetration, and perfect for its BR. Before I end the video, as soon as the pandemic crisis is over, you could go to the Tank Museum at Bovington, which I would give the link down at the description to see the M22 in person. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video of the history of the M22. I probably did not get all of the information